Yo, yo, yo. M. Davio. Fresh. Fresh. He's fresh, folks. He's fresh from the desert.
He's fresh from a short night of sleep.
That's all right. That's all right. Matt, I
Where
don't
am
see us. Oh, yeah, there we are. No, I don't see us streaming. Does it say we're streaming?
It says it's preparing to, just hanging. So
preparing to stream.
That's what it says. It's just stuck.
Well, you know, in the good news, even if this isn't going out, we can talk a little bit about Restream. I had a reach out from Restream, and they said that it possibly is going to be a seamless transition to Twitter Live through their platform. Wouldn't that be interesting if something went seamlessly?
That would be seamlessly beautiful,
right?
That would be seamless.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told anyway through several chats. Get away from me. Matt, let's talk. Lots happening in the world, right? Lots happening. First of all, I want to give my condolences to marvelous Marvin Hagler. We talked about boxing a while back with the passing of Leon Spinks. And equally for me, Marvin Hagler was just, I mean, he was just awesome in the ring. Passing away, and I've heard now whispers that he had just gotten the vaccine, and there's some of that talk in the air. Yep. For sure, there's talk in the air about the vaccine, as Germany has just canceled AstraZeneca's vaccine in their country. One of, I don't know how many countries that have done that, but condolences, marvelous Marvin. How about the Ray Leonard Hagler fight back in the 80s? One of my favorite fights of all time.
Yeah, the three guys between Hearns, Hagler, and Leonard, they had the biggest brawls again during that same time that we were talking about with Michael Spinks. I mean, those were the heydays for me for boxing. I mean, boxing really kind of peaked in the 70s and 80s, I think, and has not seen the resurgence because of MMA, I believe. You know, people like to see kicks to the head more than they do punches in boxing, I guess.
Well, I actually think MMA is a little different than that, though. I think it goes to the age-old argument of the wrestler or grappler and the fighter.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that nuance, that always intrigued me about MMA. Like, yeah, he can kick his ass unless the guy gets him on the ground, and then he's going to tie him into a fucking pretzel and snap his neck off. I mean, so there is that added thing to MMA.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. MMA is tricky. It is tricky. Kicks to
then I saw this one, Matt. Vice News reporting. Vice, you know, one of those ones that is just got incredible journalism at work most of the time. Say no more, nudge, nudge, who's your mom? But covering now the right to repair movement. And I didn't even know this was a thing, but it makes total sense that if you have a product and you want to find additional revenue streams, right? You let everybody know that nobody gets to work on it, but you and your reps, and you can gouge the fucking crap out of people as part of your business model. Not so fast, I guess the country is saying 25 states now outlawing or considering right to repair laws.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I worked for a company that, you know, back in the 90s, that their whole object was to, you know, fix GE MRIs cheaper than GE could. And it was a great business model because you could go in there and just say, oh, you've got a warranted contract for $100,000 a year. We'll do it for 20. And we'll come and fix your machines anytime, anywhere. And we've got GE certified technicians. So this is just silly. It's silly. But again, in the age of insanity that we're living in, I think this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a lot of, you know, they're grabbing. I mean, just look at today. I mean, Biden's coming out with the first tax increase since 1993. So, you know, on the federal side, and that is, I mean, that's a long time, Bob. That's 28 years. You know, the Clintons were the last ones to, you know, raise the tax rate, and here we go again. And because again, let's give away the stimulus less than Biden promised of 2,000. We'll mark it down to 1,400, and we don't have a way to pay for it, by the way. So we better tax y'all better. Tax everybody.
Speaking of policy, and we're going to talk some crude prices, but this was shared. I'm not sure where, but man, I've not seen a gas kiosk board like that in a while. So Santa Monica now tinkering with $6 for your souped up hot rod that needs super premium
for your Hummer.
567, unbelievable. I mean, talking about it's going to be $100 fill up here soon for people.
Yeah, well, it's already there. I mean, we're over 4. That's $100. These big tanks at 25 a gallon, you're at 100 already with the suburban lifestyle, right?
And to add fuel to the fire, Matt, on a macro, China looking to be fully ramping back up post COVID Wuhan.
Yep.
And so industrial production, retail sales, it's a giant economy, and as their demand goes, so do all commodity prices. And we've been talking about a commodity super cycle for a while here.
Yeah.
But this for sure is just, fuel to the fire, man. Fuel to the fire.
They are stoking it hard. I mean, again, and again, let's assume it's a 3% gain. First quarter, that would be huge. 33, China's always got these crazy numbers, but again, their math is even funnier than our math. So they teach a different math in their economic cycles than we do. And ours is also a different math than I was taught in grade school. So, to the point.
Speaking of math, let me share for a second, because I saw this today and it reminded me of one of the greatest guys out there for me, in technical analysis, John Bollinger, right? John Bollinger, Bollinger Bands. Do you know what Bollinger Bands are? Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
It's standard deviations. And
right.
So I saw a tweet where somebody was congratulating John Bollinger for inventing Bollinger Bands, and I'm like, this guy's the best. And I actually didn't know this till I just looked it up today. Like, who invented standard deviations? And it's Carl Pearson, introduced in 1893, and which is for me, that's kind of a short period of time when you think about mathematics, right?
Right.
And statistical analysis. It was only 1893, Carl Pearson developing the concept of standard deviation. So really, they should be Pearson bands. But John Bollinger has actually, not only did he apply this to trading, right, standard deviation analysis, but he was also able, I think, to get a trademark on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just, congratulations, John Bollinger.
Right.
And before we jump to price discovery, Matt, just a little bit about the Grammys last night. Talk about the age of ambiguity.
Yes.
Incredible wokeness everywhere, and unbelievable that Dr. Seuss is canceled, but you can have two women working each other and grinding to get that wet ass pussy going on a giant bed in prime time for all your children to watch. Unbelievable. And by the way, a few beautiful things in the Grammys, for my opinion. This band called Haim, unbelievable. Girl rockers, female rockers out of LA. And then for me, the Black Pumas, again, this guy's voice is very Robert Cray-ish from the Black Pumas. And the lead guitarist is off the hook. Incredible.
Love it.
But the rest of it, Matt, I don't know. I must be getting old because the pop, hip hop, rap seems to be just rewind play and choose your artist, because it all seems the same to me. That just could be me, a middle-aged white guy who knows nothing. So
well, it's interesting. You're kind of late to the party on Haim, but I'm a fan. I've been a fan. I didn't see the show last night. I wouldn't spend my 90 minutes of commercial time on that. I'd rather watch a cornhole national championship maybe. But
All right. Speaking of cornhole, let's get right to the meat of the
Let's
matter
go!
before we go to price discovery. We're going to cover one bracket a day here before Thursday. A new format this year as we go Thursday playing game, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the first rounds of the tournament. Matt, I picked Michigan over whoever they play there, the mainstream medium or Texas, Southern Oregon. I don't know either of those school.
Texas Southern Oregon. Okay, it's Mount St. Mary's or.
Okay, it's not mainstream media. They didn't get a game.
But
they didn't field a team.
Okay, so we're going to do this bracket. I've not even looked at these brackets. Michigan is definitely making it through the first round. They will play LSU, not St. Bonnie's. Forget the Bonnies. Colorado will beat Georgetown, so you're wrong there. Florida State will win, and then Florida State will handle Colorado. Michigan will have Florida State. That's going to be a tough game. Michigan first has to beat LSU. So Michigan will beat LSU in a tight one, and then they will blow out Colorado in the next quarterfinal.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado lost to Oregon State, for God's sakes.
Right. So that's where we're going there. But Georgetown also had a big upset, so I don't think they're going to win again. BYU, I'm going to go with MSU beating UCLA in the playing game and beating MSU. MSU beats BYU there, Bob. And they go on to play Texas. I agree with you there. And Maryland beats UConn, and Bama beats Ionia. And say goodnight to Rick Pitino. Did you know he coaches Ionia now?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So Maryland.
Hey, Matt, how about that, though? Let's just talk for a second.
Yep.
Coaching matters.
Coaching does matter.
I mean, in the middle, maybe not, but on the periphery, coaching matters. Exceptional coaches and exceptionally shitty coaches matter. And proof positive.
Michigan plays Florida State. They win. They make it to the final. And you know who's they're going to end up playing in the final of the sectional or the regional? It's going to be Michigan State. So however that works out, Michigan State beats Texas, and then they play Maryland. Maryland upsets Alabama, and Michigan State plays Maryland in the semi of the bracket. And then Michigan and Michigan State play for a chance.
Man, are you full of it? By the way, Matt, a little math for you.
There you go. There's your upset.
Odds, and we're going to cover Illinois tomorrow. The odds of picking a perfect bracket, 1 in 9 point something quadrillion. I saw a little spiff on it, and you got a better chance of picking, like if all the grains of sand on Earth were in a lottery, you got a better chance of picking the grain of sand that wins the lottery than you do picking a perfect bracket. I thought.
And by the way, Bob, did you get the Market Vitals bracket all set up so we can everybody in the marketvitals.io again?
Matt, I noticed that you shared it. Is there a place? By the way, IO, I got a new one, right? Yep. It's marketvitals.io, like IO Donsu. What's his name for Illinois? Dansumo, I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
His name is IO, though, just like marketvitals.io.
IO, okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Matt, let's talk some crude. Let's actually talk price discovery. It's been a slow day trading, right? So we might as well have wasted a lot of your time talking about all of the significant crap that we do at marketvitals.io on a slow trade day. It's like in the pit, when there's nothing going on, there can't be enough newspapers to go around. And who the fuck did the crossword? That was my paper.
All right. So crude, Bobby, we are cruising, continuing, fell down a little bit from the highs here at 60. What would we get? 68, I think. Sold off, but to me, nothing's changed. Again, this trend is solidly in place, and nothing's changing. I think we go over 70 soon after this pullback is complete. Whether we go to 62, 63, we may test this level down here, moving. But you can see that moving average. Just get out your ruler, draw the line here. I mean, this is just straight, and there's no reason to be short crude beyond a counter trend trade right now. This thing is just continuing up. So I don't see that changing, Bob. I don't see it changing. Everything that's going on in the world, everything that's going on with the policy about crude, it's just not going to go away. And then as far as our Bob goes, you already talked about it. I mean, look at the prices in LA. And, again, same thing. You're seeing a little bit of a sell off, but the last time we talked about it, we've made a further high. Every time I have to move this high up, you can see this. So we traded up to almost 220. And again, I mean, how can you see a better trend than this beautiful chart right here? This thing is bullish. Again, if you haven't been involved, wait for the pullbacks, wait for, a buck 96 or so, if you can get that. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. But this thing, I think, is just, it's got a mind of its own. And until this change and the trend line changes, these things are continuing to follow the policy that's just starting to be rolled out by the Biden administration.
I mean, think about that. Think about the trajectory and timeline of things. We're 2 months in here.
Well, and again, this is, I mean, it's hard to even, like, this is an 144-minute chart, and I'm trying to show you the low on election day, right? Which was right here. I mean, this was the low back here at 96 cents, and we're a full dollar above. We've doubled in 4 months, Bob. It's insane. So don't tell me. This is what I was trying to explain this to my adult children over the weekend, that this is gonna, you're gonna be paying for it at the pump. And this stuff is real, and you're going to be feeling it, and it trickles down. It's so funny. The Democrats like to talk about trickle down and how it's failed. Well, the trickle down tax policies don't work either, right? This is the exact same. This is the exact opposite of the conservative view, which is trickle down economics, and this is trickle down economics for the Democratic version. So which one? Choose.
It's amazing too, because for me, the people that they seem to be wanting to help the most get hurt the most. I mean,
get hurt the most. Yeah.
If you're a high net person, who gives a shit if it's $60 or $80 or $100 to fill your gas tank? It doesn't matter.
But if you're the person that's complaining about minimum wage to 15, that's definitely hurting you. Absolutely.
For sure. And think about the small businesses too.
Yeah.
Your electrical contractor, you got your
Trucks.
even if you're solo.
Yeah.
And you're driving all over the place, and your gas price doubles. I mean, it's real.
It's
real
a huge thorn in the economic side. And then you add on top of it, okay, you've just got as you said, a commoditized tax and doubling of prices in less than 4 months. But you also are going to get, the taxes, the corporate taxes and the personal income taxes that the Biden administration wants to jam down your throat, which just makes you, guess what it does, Bob? It makes you tighten your wallet even more because you have less to spend on bread and gas and food and clothing, because now the government wants more of your tax dollars also in every single asset. So,
So let's look at the SPOOs too, because again, for forever now, all news is good news, no matter what.
Yep. And again, today we're flat. I mean, we're basically where we closed Friday, and again, very bullish, but we did not, we tickled that high of 60, but we stopped short on the rollover last Thursday and reversed. And then we came back slowly Friday, but again, we did not, we got up to 48 overnight Sunday, and we're just kind of vacillating up in this area. For me, unless you can, again, get out above and over that range, I don't see much changing from a bearish perspective. And if you look at some of the only, again, some of the problems I have with where the market is right now, the Dow is making new highs, the NASDAQ is not. The SPOOs basically double topped at this point and have not made a decision on which way they're going to go. So, again, this is, to me, it's a tricky area to really do a heck of a lot. I tend to lean towards the short side with weekly closings above that 39.70, exiting your position. So that's really how I would look at it if you're looking at a longer term time frame. So,
yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more that it seems,
and even then, I have a hard time. We could see 40,000 in the Dow.
For sure. That's what I was just going to say. I mean, when you look at the standard deviation analysis, there's plenty of room on the weekly and the monthly and the quarterly to go plus 4,000. Not a problem at all on that chart. It seems to me, though, that sooner or later, some of these things are going to start to figure into people's spending habits, and it's going to start to be transparent.
so this chart that I'm bringing up right now, which is also interesting, it's a NASDAQ transportation index chart, right? And this is, again, astounding. You want to look at what higher gas prices are doing to the transportation stocks, and this is not a new trend, by the way. This, again, all assets are one. But look at this thing. I mean, this has been a huge move. So your cost to transport, technology is getting more expensive. So again, this is trickling down everywhere. And I just wanted to point this out. So as you continue to see, these types of moves, this gets spread across everywhere. And it ultimately, as you've suggested, Bob, it ultimately trickles its way down to the consumer in the harshest of ways, because just these everyday things that are typically, absorbed much easier at half the price. Well, now you've got to think about, do I really need to run out to Target to get my Q-tips? That's the only thing I need, or can I wait for another 2 weeks? Which
you use a lot of Q-tips.
But here's the point. By not going to Target, and as well as I do, retail wins when they get you in the store, because you buy more shit than you went for, right? So the whole idea, if people stop going to the stores, they hold off a little bit and conserve on, maybe some things that aren't necessarily necessities. I think this starts showing up in the bottom line severely. When, I don't know. But again, does the stimulus absorb it for the next 3 months? Possibly.
No way, man. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. This stimulus gets banked tomorrow or at some point this week, does it not? It gets immediately deployed.
Some people supposedly, those that get these things supposedly have gotten, some of them have gotten it. Like I said, I've never gotten a stimulus, so I don't understand. So I don't know how it works.
Yes, you have. Don't say that. All right, listen, let's who's sharing? You're sharing. We need to talk a little crypto, because there's for sure some shaking and moving there.
Right.
And let me share, Matt.
I'm trying, Bobby.
You're not letting me share, damn it. Hold on a second now. We talk crypto most every day. Man, I am struggling. It's Monday. It was a long weekend, and I am struggling. I need some production help here, damn it. All right, Matt, let's talk a little crypto. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was this headline I saw over the weekend. India to propose cryptocurrency ban, penalizing miners, traders. They don't even want you to hold it as an asset. Like you can get fined. I'm not sure if they're talking jail time. They start putting people in jail for possessing crypto. I got to tell you, that changes things. It's a giant country. And already in China, you can't mine or trade, although the Chinese are, they don't have a problem with you hodling it, because all of them are looking for a way out of China, I think, and want to protect their a certain portion of their wealth, and maybe crypto is an easiest way to do that. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts on this are, again, I think every country is going to do the same. China's already locked it down. The U.S. has kind of already danced around it. They'll come up with their own. And I've said this all along. You can hodl all you want, but yeah, the government can yank the shit, yank the carpet right out of you and say it's worth nothing tomorrow and close it all up. And and your money can go bye-bye, because it's a pet rock, and they can do it anytime. There's nothing. Again, you can't buy pizza with it. You can't buy groceries with it. So
you actually can do both of those things. Not that you.
When was the last time you bought a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk?
Hey, the crypto story isn't about me or you, though. It's about the other. It's about the billions of people on the planet that don't have access to a bank but have a cell phone.
Here's my macro thoughts. I don't think any country will allow Bitcoin to be the one. And I've said this from day one. It will never be the one. There will be a digital currency. It will probably be a new world currency. It will be one currency. Whether it comes from China, US, India, I have no idea. And the other thing I think with the whole India story is they're also one of the largest holders personally, like all of their citizens. Gold is such a huge thing. And this is also the reason why I think they're hurting right now, is because gold's getting crushed and will continue to get crushed And this is kind of a Band-Aid that the Indians are trying to put on.
I never even thought about that whole deal.
So this, what it tells me is they're being hurt, and you haven't seen the hurt that's yet to come, India. So yeah, they may start locking them down because gold's going to go to 1,000, and then they'll be like, oh, now what do we do with all our gold that we've been stockpiling and holding as individuals and as countrymen, and et cetera. So this will continue to be an issue, I do believe, and I think you'll see this play out, Bob.
All right, so here's another headline. I missed this. This was actually from late last week, and it was Grayscale. I believe a Canadian. They have a Grayscale Bitcoin shares, and they halted investments in it as the value of the fund was trading at a severe discount to the supposed value of the holdings of Bitcoin. And again, I have a real problem with these ones that are just, it's the .com era and everybody's piling into just one asset. Everybody's piling into Bitcoin.
Let me bring up that chart real quick, Bob, if you don't mind. The Grayscale, because I've got the chart right here. And again, this peaked when interesting, and this will lead into where we are with Bitcoin. Bitcoin ran to 61,500, wasn't it, this weekend?
Yes.
And is now back to the 56s. But let's look at Grayscale, and then I'll bring up Bitcoin. But Grayscale traded 61.81, and had a little bounce here to the 52 level. To me, looks heavy again. It looks like it's rolling over. So that's just the price action.
Well, again, look at it, 61.81, and where did it come down to? It actually came right down to that big.
Yeah, it came down to the first level here at 38, 39, and then bounced here. I think this dead cat bounce is right where you should be selling it again. So if you missed the first sell-off, you got the second one, I believe, yet to come, and possibly third. Let's look at Bitcoin, Bob. Again, this fake out breakout, as I like to call these throw over breakouts. These happen in stocks. They happen in, equities.
And similar to stocks, Matt, this happened over the weekend.
Yep. Right. Again. So again, it's like after hours to me.
It's like the overnight trade. Exactly.
So you run up to 62 and change or whatever it was, I think it got right up to 62. And, today we've rolled back over, and we've failed the old high. So again, caution to the wind. I would not be chasing this stuff. I said here, wait for the rally to sell. Well, here you are, 56 to 62, anywhere in there. I think you're safe to sell again. And I think this thing's going to trade back to this hole. It'll test that low. We never really did, test this one shot there at 41. And we're still looking at 33 as the most common point of control. And that's just for that's really just for 2020, 2021, Bob. I mean, it's not even a long, we're only talking about, 3 or 4 months here. So again, remember that this thing came from 18, 19,000 and went now. We're almost 3.5x here at 62. It's and again, 3 months. I don't know. So for me, and I think we're going to at least get into the meat here in the 36s, and likely, probably trade to the 33,000 level here sooner than later. How's this? 33,000 before 100,000.
33,000 before 100?
Sure. Yep.
I like that bet. We should throw that up as a prop.
Yep. Prop bet. 33 before 100.
All right, let me just look at the Pearson lines.
The Pearson Standard Devs.
The Pearson Standard Devs.
As a econ, I don't remember them ever talking about Pearsons and econometrics, but I only took the required one course as an econ major, so I don't remember any historical references to the Pearson.
Right, as we've rolled the
or for that matter, in the 80s, Bollinger. I don't know when he came out with this stuff, but they definitely weren't. But again, economists don't understand trading either, so there you go.
So the momentum line for me, 51,000. Write it down, folks. 51,948 is that up mo level that we've done a fairly good job of respecting pretty much this whole roll or this whole time up. Have not had a weekly close below it. So write that down. Burn it in your memory for this week. 51,948.47. It jumps around here as we discover prices in the matrix. Man, everything's in the matrix.
Well, and that kind of makes sense because you already sold off 6,000 from the new high, 62 to 55s, right? So you already got 6,000, half of that move, maybe the
rest. There's
rest.
the interesting nuance of this, though, too. it goes to 52,000, let's say this week.
Right.
All right. And so that's an area you should be buying. If it's going to respect the momentum level, it should respect that level.
Mhm.
So you get this, if it goes there, people are like, this is 10,000 off. How do I not buy it? Well, I'll tell you how you don't buy it, because if it closes out of up momentum, there's a lot of people that are going to run for the hills when they see and again, for me, the lack of, or the absence of strength is weakness, just like the absence of weakness is strength on the flip side. When something's been getting crushed and is in lower momentum, and then it can't hold that lower momentum level, that absence of that particularity is telling, and you better respect it. And the other thing, again, you're to 36,000, right? The opposite momentum level here is 31,719. To give you a little perspective of the potentiality in the chart available. All right. Yep. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you the facts and how the grains of sand have worked out to form the chart.
And again, the lack of price discovery up at 62,000 just tells me there was nobody left buying. They took out all the stops, but that's all they could get was an extra 2,000 or 3,000, which isn't a lot when you consider Bitcoin. So you can't, what this action tells me, Bob, is we tried to get the run to 75, but there's no reason, right? Whether it's India, whatever news you want to blame it on, the bottom line is it comes down to traders. And they're, if Novogratz wants to blame it on India, which I saw a couple tweets, because we always like to talk, throw shit to Novogratz. How about just looking at the price action, Mike, and saying you ran out of buyers up there and nobody bought? So you should maybe reconsider your hold-a-lean positioning and maybe prune some up there when the market doesn't hold. I mean, you're still at a high price. By all means, Mike, take some profits and buy them back at 33. Then you'll feel better about yourself versus complaining about what India says or what India is doing. Because
I didn't hear the rant on the news, the news rant from our Stooley president. Fully admitting that he missed the run,
and he did another video saying he was wrong because. Right. But again, the guy, he doesn't even know what short means. So Davey Boy doesn't know what short means.
No, here's my point. I didn't watch it. Did he tell people he was wrong and you should be getting in now?
Yes, yeah. So the top's in. That's why I said it's a great fade. I mean, everything. Whenever the guy jumps on, I mean, he's like the modern Kramer, because Kramer's such a good momentum. He was a good momentum trader. But what Kramer always sucked at is when momentum changed to the downside, he also was not a good short seller. And that's why he had guys like, Todd Harrison running.
Hey, Stooley president, look at the chart here. And let me ask you a question. Why would you sell here at 11,000? I don't see a reason. I mean, down here at 11,000, this batter just got hot. If this was a baseball batter, you would not be fading him here. He's got the groove down. He's seeing the ball well. He's closing the momentum 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row here, and you're selling this guy? What are you, stupid? Come on, you got to ride. Nobody back to Field of Dreams, Matt. And to what's the Tom Hanks? No. Oh man, never mess with the streak, right? No sex if you're on a streak. You don't mess with the streak. Anyway. Stooley, call me. I'll help you out. Believe me, I can help you. I know Matt can help you too. And he's a fellow Michigander, a U of M Go Blue, who will actually I got to tell you, Matt, let's just finish up on the NCAAs. I got Houston winning it all, and I have not watched them play a game. Their number 2 seed, and I saw they put up 80 or 90 points, right, in their conference championship.
Yeah.
So, and I got to tell you, Illinois' Achilles heel is their free throw shooting, because down the stretch, man, in these games, and they got away with it against Ohio State.
Yeah.
In that final game yesterday. But I got, that opens my eyes when you see teams that are terrible at the line.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, that comes back to.
Well, even in '89, when Ramil Robinson, right, he had to win the game at the line, and he was like a 47% free throw shooter, and you're sitting there going, oh my God, like he's 47%. He's 47%. I hope he just makes one. He was guaranteed 2. He was at the double bonus. And I just remember thinking, I can't believe we're going to lose again because of a fucking free throw shooter. But you're right. I mean, and he ended up making them both, thank God. But that, he broke all, it was like 47% shooter making 2 in a row with the money on the line is fucking unbelievable to me.
The other unbelievable thing is seeing guys that are shooting 53% from 3-point line.
Right. You're a better shooter from the 3 than you are from the charity stripe. I don't get it. I guess it's just a flow thing, actually jumping. Well, maybe you should just do it, back up a foot or two and do a jump shot from the free throw line if that works better for you. Because that is an option as long as you don't touch the line. You can jump shot it, right?
Absolutely. You can actually do a little, double juke between the legs.
You can do a fadeaway. You can do a Seth Curry. Exactly.
I would love to see that. Somebody that talking trash, fadeaway.
I mean, who would work, except he's a good shooter at the line also, but Carmelo Anthony, that fadeaway from the free throw line, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. Welcome back to Bend.
Thank you, Bobby.
We will speak.
Good to be back.
Right on. See you tomorrow.
Peace.
Ciao.